Hi there, this is Datila, and welcome to the TNAIW GoGoPower Rankings show. As always, I'm joined by my co-host, Burt Maclin, no relation to Steve Maclin.
How's it going, guys?
All right, so who do you expect to see on the Power Rankings this week?
You know, there was a lot of us had said this week that this is going to be probably the toughest week to vote because I think I literally am counting 3 people that I left off the ranking in my top 10 that I could easily put in the top 10. But the 2 that I think are for sure going to be in the top 10 and fairly pretty high are going to be Honor No More, of course. But Steve Maclin, I just think is every week has just shown why he's a star on the rise. And I think this week it will be his highest week yet.
I expect to see Debbie Morrissey in the number 1 spot, okay? Because I don't want to get too detailed because I'll say that for after, but all I'm going to say is I feel W. Morrissey deserves that number 1 spot. At least I see it that way. So, how could you join the Power Rankings committee?
It's pretty simple. All you have to do is just hit me up on Twitter, send me a DM at Burt Maclin 11, and we'll look to add you to the rankings committee. We're always looking to expand and add DRTA Impact fans like ourselves. So if you would like to, if that's you and you would like to join, just hit me up, send me a DM.
All right. Well, with that being said, let's play the Power Rankings. Number 10, Moose. Number 9, World Champion Tasha Steeles. Number 8, DMC Rich Swan. Number 7, Tag Team Champions The Briscoes. Number 6, Mia Yim. Number 5, X Division Champion Ace Austin. Number 4, Sami Callihan. Number 3, Steve Maclin. Number 2, World Champion Josh Alexander. And you, number 1, Honor No More. All right, I have to say, while I do think Honor No More does deserve to be on the top 10 power rankings, you know, they take the number 1 spot. And I'm not saying that they don't deserve that spot. They've certainly earned it, okay? Like, they certainly earned it. And, you know, I can understand why Josh was in number 1 because, like, Homeboy didn't even wrestle this week. He just cut a backstage segment and that's it. So I'm glad for once Josh Alexander is in number 1. But I just feel like because this was W. Morrissey's final match with Impact, like we should have looked at his overall career in Impact, and I just think that he deserved to be number 1. He put on banger of matches. He was in a hell of a tag team with Bhupinder Gunhar, and he put Maclin over. And I honestly think that Morrissey's accomplishments in Impact earned him his number 1 spot.
But that's the thing, the idea of the power rankings taking into account this week in Impact. And like I said, Morrissey, you could make a case, was one of the people you had to leave off the rankings just because there were so many people fighting to be in only 10 spots and however big the roster is. So, you know, you can't fault people for not putting there. It's not his whole career. It's this week. And
okay.
You could say this week people were better than him this week. That's all I'll say.
Okay, fair enough. Fair enough. I can't argue with that. I was just trying to make a case.
No,
But I have to say, Steve Maclin is at number 3 and Josh is at number 2. Okay, like I said, Josh Alexander didn't even wrestle this week, okay? He had a segment. Maclin should have been number 2. Like I said, he got the victory for his team. He pinned Morrissey. That should at least constitute him for being number 2.
Yeah, I think once again that you're right. In terms of performance, Maclin had a better performance than Josh Alexander. So he should be, but we're going to have to give Josh Alexander the benefit because he is world champion, and that does carry weight. So
no, yeah. Okay, again, I cannot argue with that because you do make an excellent point. Josh Alexander is the world champion, and he does have
Why
a lot of
why
weight.
Josh Alexander was only number 2? He has been in the power rankings 88% of the time. So no matter where he is, he seems to have made a home for himself in the top 10. So
who do you expect to see next week?
I expect pretty much a lot more of the same. I think Honor No More is training to be if not the main focal point, one of the focal points of the show. So them being near the top just seems like it's going to be a trend. I see Steve Maclin being near the top as well. And we didn't touch on it, but Ace Austin was number 5 this week. And while he may not have had a big presence on Impact, I think that his presence in the wrestling world was felt. You know, he had a very strong showing in the Best of Super Juniors. And he joined Bullet Club, which I know a lot of people are talking about, but I don't think enough people are talking about. So I think that's pretty big, and it just kind of shows as a whole, I think, New Japan's faith in Impact, 1, and just 2, just their faith in just adding their talent and bringing their talent in. I just think that enough's not being said about that. Why it should be.
No, and you honestly make an excellent point about Ace Austin. I mean, yes, he may have lost Best of Super Juniors, but he did one hell of a job. Like, he was amazing in that whole competition.
Yeah.
And he joined Bullet Club. I did not see that coming. I really didn't see that coming. So now it begs the question. You got Chris Bay and Ace Austin in Impact Wrestling who are a part of the Bullet Club. Definitely interesting times are to come.
Definitely.
And next week, I would like to see where Steve Maclin is. I mean, he was number 3 this week. I would love to see him at number 2. If he can't take the number 1 spot, I feel like he certainly deserves to be number 2. And we'll see what happens when Ace Austin returns from Japan, where he ends up.
Yeah. Obviously, I think in this current story right now in Impact, I think the end goal is Eddie Edwards will be the one probably to take the title off Josh Alexander in just the way things are going. You know, Eddie's storyline right now is that he, should have been the one to challenge Kenny Omega. I think that's where we're going to go eventually. But I could see in between then Steve Maclin getting a title shot against Josh Alexander. I could see Josh Alexander winning, of course, but I definitely you're going to start seeing Steve Maclin in the title scene going forward a lot more. I definitely see that as a thing going forward.
Any trends you want to talk about?
The one that stuck out to me again, Josh Alexander being in the rankings 88% of the time, and at a close second to that, Tasha Steelz. Again, I know that we don't talk about her a lot. We haven't talked about her a lot this week, the last couple of weeks, but she is always a mainstay of the rankings as well. So, I think we got to, go ahead and recognize that as well.
Yeah, definitely. I definitely do. I mean, like you said it yourself at the beginning, it was a tough voting this week. Very tough. And as we head into Slammiversary, it's only going to get harder because everybody's stepping up. Everyone wants to be a part of a Slammiversary. So it's definitely going to be interesting to see where everyone ends up before Slammiversary and where everybody ends up after Slammiversary.
Uh-huh.
All right. Well, you got anything more you want to say as we get ready to wrap up?
No, I just want to encourage people, if you would like to join the rankings, seek me out. We're always trying to expand, and let's try to get a big turnout for Slammiversary. Impact's 20th year anniversary. I think a lot of big things are on the horizon.
Yes. But with that being said, thank you guys all so much for watching, and I hope you've enjoyed this edition of the GoGoPower Rankings Turbo Tuesday. my attempt at doing the turbo more of shifting into turbo, but thank you guys again, and we'll see you guys next week. Bye.
See you later.